Hi, it's Red Carpet Shelley, and you're tuned into Lime Time. Today we're going to be speaking with the founder and creator of the Atlanta Jerk Festival, Mr. Glen Simmonds. Many of you in this community are very familiar with Mr. Simmonds. He used to be on the radio here, and 6 years ago, Mr. Simmonds, you started this Jerk Festival.
Absolutely, and 6 years strong, and can't believe that it's been 6 years, but we've been having fun.
Tell me, how did the idea come about to start the Atlanta Caribbean Jerk Festival?
Well, this was something that actually started, the planning started in late 2004, heading into 2005. And interestingly enough, it has a tie-in with the Natural Mystic show that I used to do. Because Lloyd Roberts, who is my co-host on the show, his brother, Sydney, does the festival in Florida.
Okay.
So I'm talking to Sydney, and Lloyd, he said, Glenn, you and Lloyd need to start this thing. So we started planning it from 2004, and most of the planning took place after the Natural Mystic show was finished on Saturday evenings. We'd stay for an hour or two and talk. How are we going to get this off the ground? And we met with several people throughout 2005, and thinking about how we would get started, trying to find a venue and so on, and then we started things in 2006.
Tell me what the first Jerk Festival was like. All the good things, and then all the stuff that happened behind the scenes that just went absolutely wrong.
Well, Shirley, I can tell you this. For every Jerk Festival, there's always some thing that goes crazy, and you just have to hope that your public, the people who come to the festival, they don't notice. So the first one, we had it at CNC Hideaway over in Lithonia.
Okay.
And it was good. We turned it around, in a few months in terms of the actual planning and implementation. Once we were able to secure the venue, I was on the radio at the time, so that was a tremendous help in getting the word out and so on. We had, and in starting the festival, we said that we wanted to have an avenue where as many Atlanta-based people as possible could have an opportunity to perform in a live setting. And I'm not someone who's big on people performing to tracks and so on. So Lloyd and I were really, really serious about having a band setting. So
that is one of the things I love about the Jerk Festival,
right,
that you do have a live band. So that was an intentional.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. That was by design. I
Absolutely.
love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I must confess that that I still have nerve-wracking moments even now in year 6. Sometimes I'm up late at night, working on the festival, and I have one of those "what the heck am I doing" moments, and it happens every year because you put your heart and soul into this festival. You try to create an environment and a product that you hope that people will embrace, but you never ever know. And there's so many variables that you can that you have no control over. So you always have those anxious moments, but the way to overcome that is to try to put as much groundwork in as possible. Try to have as much planning in place so that you lessen the chances of things going crazy. But you still have those moments where you wonder, okay, what am I doing here? All right, leading up to the festival. It's always a crazy environment when you start having the butterflies, going through your stomach because, you're 1 hour from the gates opening, and, you start looking to see if there's a line outside. But at the same time, you have to be concerned to make sure that everything is ready, everything is in place, that, the vendors are in place, they've started cooking, because we have a stipulation that at 12 noon, when the gates open, the music needs to be on, and people need to be able to order food if they need to. So you have all those things that you just have to consider, but at the same time, you're looking to make sure that people are coming through the gate. So it's a very, very nerve-wracking time. But as I go further and further along with the festival, I've become more comfortable dealing with that situation. Well, based on the turnout and how people reacted to it, patrons and so on, you could tell that it was something that people were willing to embrace. And at that point in time, you made the decision that one, you had to keep doing it, you had to keep improving on the product. But you have a sense of accomplishment that all the hard work, you were able to take something that was just a sketch on a piece of paper, some random notes, and you turned it into this product. So you have that sense of accomplishment.
Tell me about who comes to the festival.
But in terms of marketing the festival, we decided that we wanted a festival to appeal to everybody. So we said the people who we want to come to the festival are people from the Caribbean, because we want this festival to appeal to them. They might not be able to go home during that particular time, but they will have the opportunity to come to the festival and reconnect and connect with home. Secondly, we wanted people who have been to the Caribbean on vacation, but they can't make it this year. But this festival is going to take them there, take them to that Sandals, or take them to this Natch Resort in St. Lucia. It's going to remind them of that. Then people who drive around and they go to a Caribbean restaurant and have great Caribbean food. And we look at all those elements, or people who listen to reggae and soca music on the radio. And this event is created to provide all of those elements to all of those people. So that's basically who we reach out to, pretty much everybody.
Now, the event has grown tremendously over the last few years, and with that also the acts that you've been bringing has grown
Right.
with it. And so this year you're bringing a Grammy-winning group, Third World, to Atlanta, and I don't remember the last time Third World was in Atlanta, or certainly not during the time that I've been here.
Right.
So we're definitely honored to have them coming, so we thank you for that. Tell us how you arrived at Third World.
All over the place I'm saying, come on baby, when the music's playing, wanna see you dance, yes. Get up and dance, said move, yeah.
Every year once we do an assessment of the previous year, our commitment is to improve on the product. We want every time people come to the festival, they can say, this one is better than the one before. And so, we have this little theme that, circulates around the planning committee, has to be bigger and better. Just remember that, bigger and better. So this year, in looking at who we wanted to bring to the fore in terms of a featured performer, we came up with a list of people, headliners and, supporting acts and so on. Third World was at the top of that list. Because we look at a group like Third World, been around for over 30 years, worldwide recognition, hits that so many people, all age groups and so on, all ethnicities can relate to. So we decided that Third World would be a good group. I must admit that I had a lot of help from my good friend, Mr. Errol Moore, because he and I were talking and he said, Simon, Third World. It's all right, good job.
We've talked about how the festival has grown in size and in the quality of performing acts that you've brought into Atlanta. And now this year you've also stepped it up with a very big sponsor, Grace Foods. Tell us about that and how it came about.
Well, for 2011, the official name of the festival is the Grace Atlanta Caribbean Jerk Festival, with Grace being the title sponsor. This was something that has been a long time in the making. We've approached them for several years. Then we had some folks who were able to make the right connection for us this year, and Grace is on board. So we're hoping that they'll be happy about the association. But personally, I think it's a natural. Jerk Festival, Grace, one of the top food distributors in the Caribbean, and renowned for their jerk seasoning and so on.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a natural fit. It's a no-brainer. So we just want to make sure that they're happy, and also that the patrons that come in, they turn out, and everybody's happy. So we have some good folks who are really supporting us, and we certainly are grateful for the support that we've gotten over the years.
How do you choose who wins? Because that must be a tough job.
Well, we try to have it be as transparent as possible, the process. So we have a panel of judges, either 3 or 5 judges. Last year we had 3 judges, and they have a scoring system. So we look at presentation, taste, how your area, presentation in terms of the end product, how it looks,
Right.
how your area is, how your attire, all kinds of things, and then we assign points based on those factors, and then we tally up the points, and the person with the most points, they win.
Where do you see the festival going 5 years from now? What will it look like?
Well, sticking to the theme, bigger and better. Every year we pride ourselves on trying to improve on the festival. We want this to be something that all Caribbean people in Atlanta will embrace and be proud of. And not only in Atlanta, people from other parts of the country can say, hey, I'm going to Atlanta to check out the Atlanta Caribbean Jerk Festival. So, I don't really know where it's going, but I know that each year it will improve.
Well, again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next year.
Absolutely, bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Bring on stage the rest of my team. My wife, Sherelle. And our very capable team members and resource people, Audrey Earl and Chris Earl. And Troy Roberts, Reggae Ambassador, co-founder, along with myself, of the Atlanta Jerk Festival. Big respect, my